Here now with reaction. Texas Senator Ted Cruz is with us. I'll give you a little history of Bragg in a second, which we've gone through. Senator, first, thanks for being with us, number one. Number two, let's get your overall view of this and, arguments by the likes of Jonathan Turley, statute of limitations, political persecution, not prosecution, whether the DOJ has been weaponized. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, listen, the long and short of it is this indictment, if it comes this week, is absolutely outrageous. It is frivolous. It is baseless. It is a political persecution. It is not a prosecution. It is targeting Donald Trump because Alvin Bragg is a left-wing Democrat who hates Donald Trump. And legally, this case is absurd on its face. Now, it's all based on two New York statutes that concern business records, the kind of records you keep in your business. One makes it a misdemeanor to create a false or fraudulent business record. In this instance, what Bragg is trying to argue is that when Trump gave $130,000 to Michael Cohen, who allegedly paid it to Stormy Daniels as hush money, and he characterized that as legal fees, that business record was false and bogus. Now, he's got a problem with that theory, which is under New York state law, that's only a misdemeanor. That has a 2-year statute of limitations, so you can't even bring this claim now. So Bragg has a second thing he has to do, which he has to bootstrap that into a different New York statute, which makes it a felony if you create a false business record in the aid of commission of another crime. And presumably that other crime is some sort of Federal Elections Commission violations. Now, the FEC refused to bring that case. The Department of Justice refused to bring that case. The Southern District of New York Department of Justice refused to bring that case. Bob Mueller and the Mueller investigation refused to bring that case. But Alvin Bragg is going to try to bring a case on a theory. They tried it with John Edwards. Remember John Edwards, the Democrat senator who ran for president, had an affair and then gave hush money to his mistress? They tried to prosecute him on this theory. The case got thrown out of court. This is ridiculous. It is bogus, and it is pure partisan attack from a partisan DA.
Let me tell you a little about Bragg, and we've been going over this. By the way, he loses 49% of felony cases that are tried in court, which is a spectacular failure if you're a DA. I'll give you one example. He gave plea deals to two criminals involved in the 2018 fatal stabbing of a U.S. Army vet and father of three, and one of the people got a 7-year sentence for that. That included pleading guilty to a lesser charge of gang assault. And the other attacker got basically time served. I mean, they murdered somebody, and you got 7 years. You have a case of an allegation of rape that got reduced to 30 days in jail. Minor rape. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. Here's the question I have. Is this just born out of pure hatred? When you think back 3 years of nothing but a narrative of lies about Trump-Russia collusion, all of it was false. We were right on this program. The rest of the media mob was wrong. Then you go back. You want to talk about a quid pro quo? How about Joe Biden leveraging $1 billion taxpayer dollars to get a prosecutor fired who's investigating his son with no experience being paid a fortune? That's a quid pro quo. That didn't happen. Or Hillary Clinton and the 33,000 deleted emails with BleachBit and devices destroyed with hammers. Americans tonight, conservatives especially, Senator, are asking, do we have equal justice under the law and equal application of our laws in this country? And I can say, from my point of view, the answer is no, not at all.
Well, as you know, I just wrote a book a couple of months ago on exactly this topic. It's called Justice Corrupted, How the Left Has Weaponized the Legal System. One of the chapters in Justice Corrupted talks about Alvin Bragg and other George Soros elected district attorneys. George Soros put over $1 million behind electing Alvin Bragg. And you're right, Alvin Bragg has had his career in office letting violent criminals go, lowering felonies down to misdemeanors. Ironically, what he's trying to do here is take a felony and take a misdemeanor rather, and blow it up into a felony. And let me say, to understand just how absurd this is, as you know, I do every week a podcast, Verdict with Ted Cruz. Yesterday's podcast is an hour-long deep dive on the legal issues explaining why the facts and law are utterly bogus. But let me just focus on one point. The basis of Alvin Bragg's case is that Trump broke the law when he characterized a payment as legal fees when it was not, in fact, legal fees. You know who did the exact same thing at the exact same time? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton in 2016, she paid over $1 million to develop the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier, you remember that fantastical fictional piece that had all sorts of lurid accusations against Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton's campaign paid over $1 million for it, and she called that money legal fees. She did it at the same time in the 2016 presidential election. She did it in the same place in New York State, likely in New York City. And yet Alvin Bragg in a million years wouldn't prosecute Hillary Clinton under this law because he's a partisan Democrat. This has nothing to do with the law. This has everything to do with politics. But the irony is, Sean, if Bragg goes through with this tomorrow, it's going to backfire mightily, and I think the result, ironically, could be a left-wing Democrat, George Soros DA. If he brings this case and loses, and he will lose, he could end up, ironically, playing a pivotal role in re-electing Donald Trump as president.
All right. Thank you, Ted Cruz. And coming up,